Good morning, guys and girls. Welcome to another video. My name is Ralli Roots and my wife and I are full-time online resellers. We have two awesome people that help us, my younger brother Ben and our wonderful friend and employee Callie. But we've been full-time resellers for a number of years and we've been sharing our experiences on YouTube for over 3 years now. So if this is your first time to the channel, that's what this channel is about. It's about buying stuff and selling it online and just kind of sharing our experiences with the community. So if you like videos like that, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button on this video. So with that being said, guys, one of the main reasons why we started this YouTube channel to begin with was going back to what I was saying. We want to share our wins and our mistakes. And today's video is going to be about some mistakes that we've made as full-time resellers. So I'm going to go over 7 mistakes that we made as full-time resellers. And again, the point of this video is to tell you some mistakes that we've made so that maybe you don't have to make the same mistakes. When we first started reselling, we didn't have videos like this. We didn't have materials we could go watch or people we could rely on to tell us good information. So that is one of the main reasons why, again, we decided to start this YouTube channel, to kind of let people know about the issues that we've had, the mistakes that we've made, and how to avoid making the same mistakes that we've made. And remember, guys, we've come a long way in this business. We started with just $200 going to garage sales, and we've grew it into a multi-six-figure a year company now. And along the way, we've learned a lot of really valuable lessons. So I'm going to talk about the top 7, the 7 mistakes that we've made as full-time resellers, and let's just go ahead and jump into them. So the first mistake that I want to talk about today is comparing yourself to other resellers. And I think that at the level that our business is at today, a lot of people do that with us and we don't want them to do that. So a lot of people compare themselves starting out now to where we are today. And I think that that's a big issue. It's something that when we were first starting out, we were comparing ourselves to other large resellers. I think that it's really prevalent on Instagram because a lot of people are posting big numbers and bragging about their sales on Instagram. And sometimes it's tough as a new reseller to say, you know, I only made a couple $100 this week and this person is posting a $30,000 week. So sometimes it can be a little bit disheartening as a new reseller to see stuff like that. We see it all the time in Facebook groups as well. Facebook groups, like, man, there's some really good stuff that comes out of Facebook groups, but in a lot of the big ones, it's really just people like attacking new resellers. And that's something that we would never do, and it's something that we absolutely do not condone because that's how we started. We started as brand new resellers. It's not like we started this business with $50,000 already in the bank to go and spend on inventory. We started it with not a lot of money. So I think and it's something that we have to remember as well. Even where we are today, we still have to, it's important for us to take a step back and say, we were new resellers once. Everybody started somewhere, and it's really not okay to compare yourself to somebody who's been doing this for 5 years full time and who's making a full-time income doing it. It takes work and patience and dedication to get to that point. And new resellers, it's something that all of us do. When we first started selling, we compared ourselves to other people as well. And sometimes it can ruin your day because you see something like that and you're already having a bad day and you're like, well, what am I doing? Why can't I do it? When in reality, sometimes all it is time, right? It takes time to build a good business. And sometimes just step back from your business when you're first starting and say, look at your wins. Be like, maybe I only made $200 this week, but guess what? Last week, I only made $100. So keep your focus on your own personal growth instead of looking at somebody else's numbers. Because listen to me, in reality, a lot of these guys that are posting $2, $3, $4, $5 million snapshots of their account, their profit margin on it is like 2%, 5%. So in a lot of cases, the people who are making less money, not millions and millions, but less money with less overhead and better margins, they're actually making more than these people doing massive numbers. It's all relative. You never know with something like Instagram what the truth is. So just keep that in mind when you're first starting out. Don't make the mistake of always comparing yourself to other resellers. Sorry if my voice is kind of hoarse. Allergies, man. There's like crazy pollen in the air right now and it's not sitting too well with me. but I really wanted to make this video because it's something that I'm passionate about. So here we go. Mistake number 2 that we made as full-time resellers is not doing enough research. So when I say not doing enough research, it's all around in our business. So whether we're at a thrift store and we're looking up something that we've never seen before, we're looking it up to see if it sells well, if it's got a good sell-through rate, and how much money it sells for as well. And then all the way to when we're looking at buying a large wholesale order. Maybe we're buying 2,000 of one item, and we need to know, again, when you're doing that, you have to be very thorough with your research. So we've made the mistake multiple times not doing enough research on products that we've bought. Going back to thrift stores. When we first started out, I walked into a thrift store and spent $300, not doing enough research, just pulling brands out of the rack that I had seen that I knew had high retail values, but I wasn't sure on the resale value. And that was a big mistake. We ended up losing, I think, $200. So we only made $100. So we lost $200 on 300. So when you're first starting out and continuing into being a full-time reseller, it's very important to do that research. Another example is on sell-through rates. One time I purchased a wholesale of, I think it was like 2,000 or 2,500 boxes of hair dye. We literally still have some of those hair dyes sitting in our warehouse. Now we've made a decent amount of profit on them, but it took a long time to sell them. And if I had done my research the right way and looked at the sell-through rate to make sure that enough of them were selling a day for the right price, then I probably wouldn't have made the deal. But again, it's a lesson that you learn, and it's a lesson that we can at least share with you guys, is make sure you're doing your research. Go to the platform that you're gonna sell it on. If it's eBay, for example, look at the sold comps, look at what's active. If there's 2,000 of the same item active and 2,000 sales in the last 90 days, great. That's 100% sell through in 90 days. I would say that's probably a good product to purchase. If it's 2,000 items listed and 100 sales, maybe think twice about purchasing that product. But always do your research. It's a mistake that we've made multiple times, but we've learned from our mistake, and now at this point, we know we need to do our research the right way. All right, mistake number 3 that we've made. I think this is a big one because I think a lot of people are doing it. I see it all the time in the community out there. A lot of new resellers get stuck in this rut and they start doing this, and it's not focusing enough. So I see a lot of people focusing on too many things at the same time and not kind of narrowing it down and making sure that you're making money on one platform before going to the next. So that's the mistake that we made, is we had a very good eBay business going, super focused. We built it up to like $10,000 in sales a month, and then we decided, okay, we're killing it on eBay, let's add Amazon. And what happened when we did that is we took our focus away from our bread and butter eBay, and started focusing more on Amazon because we were trying to build that, and it takes time to build another platform. So what happened is our eBay sales almost cut in half while we were building up our Amazon business. And eventually it did even out, and both of them are fine now. But I don't want new resellers to get stuck in that, I'm gonna sell on eBay, Poshmark, Picari, Depop, Letgo, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace. Like, adding all these platforms, all of them are great. All of them have their own pros and cons, but I think it's important at the beginning to really focus on building one before trying to branch out and get on others and try to get money from everywhere else. So focus, I think, is a very important thing, and it's a mistake that a lot of people make, not focusing the right way. We've done it, I think everybody does it. All right, mistake number 4 that we personally made is not hiring help fast enough. So Allison, my wife, and I, we built this business. We built it up to a good point, and then we kind of just plateaued, and our business did this for a little while, had no growth. And we were kind of stuck in there. And the point that I'm making is that we should have hired help at that point. But we were like, I don't know, is the business making enough money? Can we afford to hire somebody? Like, do we want to do that? Do we want to grow the business? And the fact of the matter is yes. Like, we should have hired help earlier in the game, because when we hired someone to help us out with the tasks that we don't like doing, like shipping stuff and taking pictures and listing items, so the stuff that takes a lot of time and effort, but it has to be done right, obviously, but the stuff that we just don't like to do, when we hired somebody, Callie, thank you, Callie, to help out with that stuff, it allowed us to break free from doing those tasks and step back from our business, and we could focus on how to actually grow the business into, you know, a better company. And I think that if we had done that sooner, the business would have grown faster. And again, I'm not saying when you first start out and you don't have money to pay someone, I'm not saying go and hire help immediately, but I am saying to just be careful about plateauing your business where you're not able to do as much. And it's something that, listen, I have a hard time doing it because I'm a bit of a control freak. So I have a hard time relinquishing responsibilities to other people. But I've been learning over the past few years how to do it more effectively. And I think it's an important thing to learn because it really does allow you to focus on the bigger picture parts of the business. There's a reason why in larger companies there's managers. Because if the manager tried to do all the tasks that, you know, 100 people that they're managing do, it just wouldn't work. So that's an important thing to remember is, as a reseller, in order to grow your business to the next level, I think you have to hire people. Hire people that you trust, hire people that aren't going to take all your information and go and try to do it themselves. We get that question a lot, like, why doesn't Callie has all the knowledge that we have, why doesn't she just go do it herself? And I think that it comes down to Callie is, one, a really good friend, so that's cool, she's very trustworthy, and two, we pay her well. We give her raises, we give her bonuses, she's paid very well. She has no reason to do that. And because we do that, we include her in everything that we do. We always ask her her opinion on things. And I think because we do that, she feels like a part of the team and we're all working on the same goals. So I think that's very important. But again, one of the biggest mistakes we made is not hiring Callie fast enough. All right guys, 3 mistakes left. I'm just gonna pause it here really quick. Again, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the thumbs up button. It really helps us out. Maybe share this video in those Facebook groups that you're a part of so other people can see that they're not alone. But yes, please hit the thumbs up button on the video. I'd really appreciate it. And we're gonna jump into mistake number 5 right now. So mistake number 5 for us is getting too comfortable. And I think that we're not the only one who've made this mistake. I think a lot of people, not just in reselling, but in life in general, I think a lot of people make this mistake. When I say getting too comfortable, I mean you have a nice business going, you're paying your bills, you're setting some money aside, maybe you're able to travel a little bit, but you're on that plateau again, and you're so comfortable that you're not stepping back and looking at your business and you're not trying to grow your business. And being comfortable, I think, is a very dangerous thing because comfort never causes growth. In fact, I've found that the opposite is true. When I'm uncomfortable, I have to find a way to make money and grow our business. And it goes back to how we started. When we first started this business, we did not have a ton of money to go and spend on inventory. And literally there were weeks where we weren't sure if we were gonna have enough money to pay our bills. And being that uncomfortable gives you the hustle to go and make sales and find good stuff and develop good relationships and grow to the next level. So being uncomfortable, I think, is okay. Obviously, you don't want to like get overwhelmed. You don't want to take on a bunch of debt and not be able to pay back stuff. But I think that being too comfortable is a bad thing, because when you get stuck in that rut of the same thing over and over and over again. A lot of people have 9-to-5 jobs and they same thing over and over again. They'll do the same job for 30 years over and over, and they get so comfortable and they forget to have a life, and they forget to take themselves to that next level. So don't get too comfortable. Try to push yourselves a little bit. Maybe this video, maybe you've been comfortable lately, and maybe this video will kind of snap you out of it a little bit, and you can start getting some, or putting some uncomfort, I guess that's a word, but you can start like pushing yourself to the next level. I think it's super, super important. And it's something that I go through. I've been through it multiple times in multiple businesses, but I've been through it multiple times even this year. We get too comfortable with what we're doing, and I notice it personally, and I step back and I go, okay, what can we do to shake things up? Like, let's take some educated risks, you know? I'm not saying go blow 50 grand at the casino, but what can we do? What could we build? What can we add to what we're doing? What can we invest in? Let's take a little bit of risk. We're still young. We have a lot to lose, but you know, we can make it back. I think that getting out of that comfort zone it's an important thing, and it's a mistake that, again, we've made multiple times. All right, 2 mistakes left to share. The next one is, I think, a very important one. It is keeping track of your margins. It's something that we kind of struggled with at the beginning. I'm not an accountant, Allie's not an accountant. We weren't really watching our actual profit margin in the business, and I think that hurt us because I think it's very important to know how much money is coming into your business, how much money you're spending in the business, and how profitable is your company. Now we know it down to the T. We have a good CPA, we have a good bookkeeper, we look at our profit and loss statements on a very regular basis to make sure that the business is making, we try to net like 48% plus across our business out of all the different sources of income that we have. That's what we strive for now. So we watch that, and if things start to slide, we'll tweak some stuff to get that profit margin back to the right point. But I think a lot of times when you first start out, or really throughout reselling, but you get too excited. You get excited about something and you go, oh my gosh, okay, I have this deal that I can buy 1,000 of these things for $20 and I know I can sell them for $40 each, which is cool, right? You could double your money from $20 to $40, but we forget sometimes to think about the work that goes into doing it, shipping and listing the items and customer service. All that is work. And you forget about the fees. So eBay fees, Amazon fees, PayPal fees, shipping fees, all that stuff. So maybe you're buying something for $20 that you can sell for $40, but at the end of the day, you're only making $5 on each item. And then you have to go back again to that research portion, the other mistake that we've made. How long is it going to take to sell 1,000 items of the same thing? You know, you have to go back and say, is this a good buy? And are the margins actually as good as I think they are? And then let's say you do buy it. Let's say that everything checks out, the research is good, and you purchase a lot like that, or you purchase a bunch of items like that. You still have to keep track of your margins because with that many items, the market is fluctuating so often, and you have to make sure that you're still continuing to make your margin. If you list it for $40 and then a bunch of other people list the same item and then the competitive price drops from 40 to 30, you still have to watch that and make sure that you're still making money. So we have a practice where every week we look at the items in our stores and we tweak prices, we look at the market, and sometimes we run promotions, sometimes we'll run sales, sometimes we'll raise the price because supply and demand. Sometimes things are in more demand and we can actually raise the price and get more money. But again, at the end of the day, it's very important to know your numbers. You can't just be a reseller. This is a job where you have to look at it like a true business person. You have to go, am I actually making money doing this? And is it worth my time? So a lot of people don't like when we say a $10 sale for us is not worth it because we have overhead, we have expenses, we have shipping fees, we have electricity, we have insurance, we have things in place that it takes to run a business. And a $10 sale for us doesn't make sense. A lot of people don't like it when we say that, but our time is worth more than $10 a sale at this point. Doesn't mean that when you're starting out, making $10 is a bad thing. It's a good learning experience. I just think that as you grow in business, you have to know your margins and know when you're taking a loss. Because for us, after paying for everything, making $10 loses us money. So we have to make sure that we're buying the right stuff so that we're actually profitable. So there's another big mistake that we've made, not watching our margins close enough. And there's one more mistake left. And this last mistake I think is the most important one for me anyway to share with you guys. This is the one that I really want to get across, and it is not taking enough time off, getting burned out, working too hard, working too long, not taking enough time to spend with your friends and family and actually enjoy your lives. This is a big mistake that I've made in every single business that I've ever started. I get in this routine of work myself to death, and luckily I have Allison and Callie and Ben to say, hey, why don't you take a bit of a break? Why don't you guys take some time and cool off? You're doing too much, you're working too hard. And I think that for your mental health and your physical health, I think it's super important you have to be able to step back and say, let me take some time off. Even in traditional jobs, most people in America get a couple weeks off a year to which I don't think is enough, by the way. I think you should take at least a month off a year. Lots of other countries do it. When we lived in Australia, everybody got a month off. So I do think it's important to just to step back and take some time off. And sometimes it's not going on vacation. Sometimes it's just putting your store in vacation mode and staying at home and not doing anything. Sometimes, honestly, it's switching off social media because, for us, social media is work. So I'm constantly on Instagram and YouTube, and I'm interacting with people, and sometimes that is fatiguing. So I have to take time off of that side of the business as well. So you have to find what works right for you. But I think that whole mentality of like work 24/7, don't take any breaks. No offense to people like Gary Vee who preach that, like, you know, go to your day job and then work 10 hours after you get off. Not the life for me. I 100% wholeheartedly disagree with that. I love a lot of the stuff that Gary Vee says, but that's one that I absolutely disagree with. I think it's more important to get good sleep and enjoy your lives. Don't just work yourself to death. And spend quality time with friends and family, I think, is more important than driving and trying to build a business and make a ton of money. So again, I think that that's the main mistake that we've made in the past, and that's the main mistake that I don't want you guys to make. Take some time off, clear your head, and come back fresh. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And there you go, guys and girls. There's 7 mistakes that we've made as full-time resellers over the years. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Again, please hit the thumbs up button on it. If this video gets out to even one person and makes a change, a quality change in the way that they run their business and the way that they run their lives, that's why we make these YouTube videos. Because if we can touch that one person and completely change what they're doing for the better, that's why we're here. So hopefully you guys, again, enjoyed this video. I want to start doing more stuff like this because we've built a great business now, but I still want to be relatable to everybody else. And I think that we have so much that we've learned getting to this point, building our business, and we're still learning every single day. We have a lot that we can just sit down and share with you guys. So again, hopefully you enjoy this little chat, and we'll see you next time. I'm Ralli Roots. Peace out, guys. Bye.